tell my friends stand by me only if I'm right. I come out in triple darkness just to see the light. If I say it once, I guarantee I say it twice. If they want me, I ain't going out without a fight. In my dreams, I'm a killer, but for God, man. Try to play it cool, but it's getting hard, man. Rolling with the real and death to all the frauds, man. Not too many on me, yeah, it's kinda hard, man. In my room, sitting in my room. Know they waiting on me and I'm coming soon. Never been a sellout, never been a coon. Y'all be on the camera acting like I'ma show them how I true.
We all coach. We love the sports analogy, right? Hey, man, the game's supposed to be easy. You know what I'm saying? You got to practice hard. We got to work hard. So game time, I can't come teaching you X's and O's right before the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, all I got to do is let you know I believe in you. You know?
Hey, fellas, so what's good? We got so congratulations are in order today.
Yes, sir.
You know, this fella to my right over here is hereby acknowledged for the Black Father Hall of Fame.
Let's go.
Putting a third son into college. Had the college drop off this week for JD.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
The college drop off.
He the last one of the sons.
Last one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he the last one. He the youngest.
Wow.
Baby boy, the crew.
He gone.
Yeah.
Hey, look, I knew John was dropping them off, right? You know how John get when he got certain key moments in his life, he tend to disappear a little bit.
Yeah.
And I
That's
said,
him.
you know what, I'm gonna leave him alone today because I remember, and I was joking. He didn't answer the phone today. I called. I said, yeah, man, I understand, man. You trying to figure out, did you teach him enough? And did you say everything you needed to say? Is he gonna be strong enough? Is he independent enough? And
Right.
do he know how to handle his money? And is somebody gonna get over on him? All those things going through your head as a father when you drop him off. You just dropped him off. What does that look like? And then the other scenario for the day for us to talk about, what does it look like if they didn't go to school or go off to the military and they staying home? They might be staying home and working, staying home, going to school. I got a situation where I got a son that moved back to save to get a spot. What are those adjustments and rules, or did you have to make? And what were your messages to Gabriel? What was your message to your sons and daughters? What did we say when we dropped them off and they made these major transitions?
Hey, bro.
I know you was crying.
Oh. Hey, I had my moment on the ride down there.
You was crying on the ride
On the
down
ride
there?
down there. On the way back, I was good.
Was there a certain song you was listening to that made you cry, or you just...
Hey, yo, in fact, it was one of his songs, and it was a J. Cole song.
J.
But
Cole?
I can't even think of the name of it. He would know the name of the
Like
song.
an older
but
joint? Or
it was
one of
something in
his
the
newer
lyrics in his song. Yeah,
Right,
yeah,
yeah.
that had me.
Just
And
touched you.
because it was his playlist. Yeah, and it just kind of hit me.
So while you was over there crying, was he asleep?
Yeah, I was
Oh,
like
okay.
looking out the window. I was like just leaning to the side.
Yeah.
Yeah, Denzel Washington Jones coming down, man.
glory
That's
to
awesome.
you.
Man, yeah. Again, man, I was just thankful, man, and excited for him, and just understanding like the journey as far as always trying to be there and trying to do your best. And Gabriel said before, even when we talk about this podcast, he's like, Dad, I done heard it all. You know what I'm saying? I done heard all. If I ask him, hey, did we had a sex talk? Did we do this? Did we talk about this or money? Like, yeah. You know, and so it's just like, we love sports. We all coach. We love the sports analogy, right? Hey, man, the game's supposed to be easy. You know what I'm saying? You got to practice hard. We got to work hard. So game time, I can't come teaching you X's and O's right before the game. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hey, all I got to do is let you know I believe in you, and do the right thing.
Right.
And that you got this. You know what I'm saying? Just remind him of his purpose, why he is there. This is not the end all. This is the end of that high school stuff. This is a new beginning for you. And I'm proud of you, and I believe in you. Know why you're there, know who you are, and let's make it happen.
And that sounds great. I mean, and there's all the right things to be said, and you say all of that, and you still left when you drop them off with that feeling.
Yeah.
Is it enough?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Was it enough, Joaquin, when you dropped Darius off in Connecticut? Like, I mean, did you feel
Well,
like, you know what? Did you feel that? Did you drop off? Was like, drop Junior off. You know, everything's all hunky dory now. It's like, or was you like, man, what's gonna happen?
Well, Darius went to 2 schools, so he went to
first one.
He went to Hamden,
Let's talk about
Sydney.
the first one.
Yeah, he went to Hamden, Sydney first, and we dropped him off there. When he transferred and went to Vermont, I said, man, go on up there by yourself.
Wherever you say you
Go on up there by yourself.
You ain't go to Alabama. Get out of here.
Send me your address.
Yeah. Tell me where you at when you get there. Yeah. So, nah, man, it was one of those things where the big transition for them actually becomes a moment of reflection for you.
Right.
And the real moment of reflection is all those things, because now you're evaluating yourself and whether you did a good job or not. And you really assessing whether you did a good job or not. Now, the proof is going to be in the pudding. You know, how they actually turn out. How is this transition for them? You know, we already had an issue because he was going to a school that I ain't want him to go to. So, you know, both times, right, exactly.
You down there moving furniture and beefing, like, where it go?
No, by that time,
right there.
You know, by the time it was time to move in, it was just like, you know, here you go, let's go.
Yeah.
But here's a thing that I was very cognizant of. I was like, we're not going to be them parents showing up down here all the time. We're not going to be them parents popping in on you, checking in on you. So I think in that regard, I felt like my wife and I had done a good job. And we were very confident in the individual we were sending off to school.
Okay.
You know, I was not worried that he was going to get caught up in crazy drug use or anything like that. You know, my biggest worry for him, I mean, and we'll talk about this for Gabriel, you know, we know our sons. What do we think, you know, when I assess it, what do I think is going to be his biggest challenge? And for me, I felt like his biggest challenge was going to be not coming home every weekend. And that's exactly what became his biggest challenge, because when you got a girlfriend that's back at home, that changes the dynamics of when you get to school. Like that's a really big factor in terms of how you transition into your college years.
Distraction.
How you gonna say you prepared them, but you didn't break that relationship up and you knew that was gonna happen?
Well, I ain't like
say you didn't know that was gonna happen.
I ain't like my brother that break up relationships.
You knew that was gonna happen.
Chill ain't got
I knew that was gonna happen.
With that dude,
I knew that was gonna happen.
I have a problem.
But it's one of those things where, you know, you can't, certain things you just have to let them walk
Matters
into
of the
that.
heart.
Yeah, you just have to let them.
With matters of the heart. I don't even want to go to college.
Yeah, right, exactly. You just gotta let him.
But you had that conversation with him, though, I'm sure.
Yeah. Because part of me felt like he was choosing that school. Now, whether this is true or not, it don't matter. This is what I thought. Now, I think he would say it wasn't true.
Yeah.
But part of me felt like he chose that school so he could be close to his girlfriend, so he could get back home all the time.
You know what I mean? I wonder if part of the problem, though, was like, if he had not gone to Hampton, Sydney, and they had like a more jumping college life down there, I wonder if he would have did the same thing.
Yeah.
Because it's not like Hampton, Sydney was jumping.
Right.
It's
It's an all-boys school.
Yeah, but it's
He went to all boys.
Like, I think I would have left too. Like,
But I'm like,
But they had the girls' school next door, though, Waukee.
Is that where she was going?
I mean,
That's
it
what she
wasn't a
is.
girls' school, but Longwood was, 5-10 minutes away.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
Longwood
heard
is
they used
close.
to bus girls in or something, they said.
For events.
What that
You
mean?
know,
that is the most toxic thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, well, I was like, what is he
Welcome
saying?
in for the guys.
Hey, that's a real thing. Tell
Now,
them,
how long was Darius with her in high school or whatever?
Couple years of high school and a year of college, I think. Something like that.
Oh, okay.
Something like that. I can't remember.
Interesting. And you said you had a convo to ask him if that's why he went there? You said, and he said it wasn't?
We didn't have a conversation to ask him if that's why he was going there.
Oh.
Because I thought,
I'm saying afterwards, like years later or anything like that.
if it was the truth, I didn't think he would admit to it.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it wasn't a conversation that we actually had. But I felt like, I thought at the time, he just trying to stay close to her,
right.
Especially like you choose an all-male school. Like, what's that all about? But that was cool. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He went there, and academically, I think he did really well.
When you said that you felt the individual that you were sending away from home was ready. What do you mean by that? In what ways was he ready?
I felt like socially he would be able to handle himself in whatever environment he was. I felt like he wasn't going to be a victim of peer pressure if it was drinking and smoking and whatever drug use. Now, if he chose to do those things, it was going to be a choice he made, not because of a peer pressured choice. So I felt like in that regard, socially, he was ready. Academically, without a doubt, I knew he was ready. You know what I mean? In terms of whatever academic rigor that was going to exist at that school, I knew he was totally prepared for that. You know, so those are and going there with an objective in mind, just in terms of, I want to go here, I want to graduate, and I want to get my business thing going. You know what I mean? So I knew he wasn't going to be like, I'm going here because I got to come out of here and get a job.
One thing you said, man, I think he's ready, but I really wish that I made some more progress in this one area.
Really, just not having a girlfriend going to college.
Okay.
Like if I had to give some advice to young men and women going off to college, go and break up as soon as y'all pull out the driveway. Just break up now.
If y'all not going to the same
if y'all not going to the same school, just break up now.
Their situation is a little different because it's only a few all-male schools.
It's three.
It's three. So yeah, that was a.
Why you so anti
breaking up
girl relationship?
Because I think that just brings complicated matters because you have something pulling you back home when you do that. So if you go into your college environment and you're there, you might be interested in dating who's there. But if you have something pulling you home, I want you to get the full experience of where you are. I want you coming home every weekend.
What if they're not interested in the full experience and they want the relationship they got?
If they want the relationship they got, well, that is what they want. That is what they do. And we see how that turn out.
It sounds like you don't have any faith in this.
In what?
Going back and forth with the relationship. And
just, I want you to go fly. Go fly.
Well, I believe that's prudent. That's very prudent on his part. And I'm glad I didn't have to worry about that with K-Moo. Because his
Go ahead.
Listen, tell me this.
I'm sorry, brother.
No, I'm not even gonna get into that. Even in high school, though, I tried to have him limited in that, and even having a girlfriend and that sort of thing. You know what I mean? Oh, why are you looking like that, Black?
You try to limit his girlfriend.
Yes, sir. I wanted him to be, and I think this is gonna be another.
Bro, we
had
You
chaos.
tied your wife up.
You tied your wife up.
Well, it was limited. And I wasn't really. And it's
when
wild
you say you limited, what does that mean, though, bro? What do you say? No.
All right.
I mean,
He had a
little
shorty that kind of kept him in the friend zone a little bit.
Okay.
Or what have you, which was fine by me too.
Okay.
And so at least for him to experience and have that, was cool with me. But I wanted his focus to be more on himself. Preparing himself.
But what do you have to do if he falls in love,
to
though,
be ready, bro? He don't know nothing about love.
What do you mean he doesn't
age,
know anything about love? He meets somebody and they got a vibe in the same way you feel like you got a vibe when you meet.
Aren't you in love at 18?
Your wife.
Okay.
What'd you say? What'd you say?
You would have to bring it up. Yes,
What'd you say?
I thought I was.
Was you in love at 18?
Well,
Yeah.
no, I kind of was,
16.
but wasn't.
Kind of was.
I was.
I'm saying, but you gonna get involved. Imagine somebody saying,
See, but my learning from that, and this is going to be another episode, of course, when we talk about having them be, better than we were and all that sort of thing. However, I wanted him to focus on himself, preparing himself to be ready to take on a romantic relationship that evolves.
But I'm asking you what that looks like. That's why I'm saying, like, we say all of this stuff, right? Well, I want him to be ready.
In practical terms.
In practical terms, I'm sitting here, Dad. I'm trying to date.
And it was
I'm trying to date Dad. No, with son.
No, but it's not as if I discouraged him.
On,
and plus, my wife wouldn't let me do that
man.
anyway.
What was the name of that show? The man go see. He was
Miyagi.
Grasshopper.
Kung Fu.
Kung Fu. And he come for some big sage message at the end, like, I am ready to get a girlfriend that
No.
You must wander through the woods and till you
No.
know you have readied yourself. What's the moment?
No. However, it worked. It was good. So I didn't have to worry about that sort of thing that Y did. And then then when he did go, I thought we felt he was prepared enough because it was just I tried to keep it or have him have the mindset that this is just an extension of how well you were doing academically anyway in high school. Just continue that, focus on your studies and what you want to do. And again, but being aware and wary of the social piece and not trying to we weren't really so much concerned about all of that either.
Okay.
And so we felt good. As far as the feeling if we had him prepared enough, again, it was more of an extension because again, it was about academics for us.
How do you rate his adjustment? Joaquin said it really in so many terms. I mean, Darius ended up moving on, but not so good based on the biggest thing he feared. Right? I'm just saying in terms of that. How do you rate the adjustment? You're saying we felt good, it was just an extension. How do you rate his adjustment after semester 1? Year 1.
It seemed only because he had a few disappointments with regards to the path that we had hoped he would take, which was that of architecture. And, missed a few deadlines, this, that, and the third, didn't get in. So I think that kind of threw that off.
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm staying on you because I just want to understand.
Yes, sir.
You said he had a few disappointments based on the path we wanted him to take. Was that the path he wanted to take?
Well, we thought he did, and we were in agreement of it. And so missing some deadlines to get into the school, at that school, I think kind of dampened his, his spirit with at least to that particular school.
The deadline dampened it, or it was already dampened, that's why he missed the deadline?
That's a whole different conversation. It could very well play a part on it. So, like you didn't have that convo with Darius about
I'm
why.
trying to figure out what the agreement though. I'm not clear that this was a solid agreement about this architecture thing. Anybody?
Well, we thought it was because
y'all thought y'all chose his major right.
Hold on, because in his, I think it was the summer before his senior year in high school.
Okay.
He attended an architecture camp at the same school at UNC Charlotte, and so we thought he enjoyed that and was good with it. You know what I mean? So because we didn't go deep into I guess solidifying and making sure we were all in total agreement of it.
Y'all just gonna let him. You just gonna let him do this?
What do you mean?
I ain't saying nothing. I'm not saying.
Just say architecture was y'all idea,
or mine,
or yours.
Well, hey, it was.
He did good at school, and y'all thought he was gonna move forth with it.
And then that might have possibly slightly dampened.
No. Okay, so
did he have a passion to show passion in anything else?
You said a sure passion?
Did he show a passion?
Oh, show
or
a
interest
passion?
in anything else?
Kind of. No, I mean I can't say that he's like in the passion.
Why are you thinking about that? I don't think there's nothing wrong with saying this is what you should pursue. If you don't have any idea of what you want to do, hey, let's try this.
No, it's right.
I'm cool with that.
Right, and that's kind of.
But if he did show inclination of hey, I'm good at this, I want to try this, that's a little bit different.
Ain't nothing wrong with it as long as you're not rigid about it. Because when he finally does decide what he want to do and it's something different, he got to be very comfortable saying, hey, you know what, that architecture thing, I scrapped that. I want to go do filmmaking. You know what I mean? He got to be free to say that. The problem is a lot of kids are not free to make that statement to their parents.
Confident enough to have that
conversation.
Now,
I'm going to say this, though.
Free.
I'm going to give you one time. We not changing majors 3 and 4 times.
Why not? Because you're paying for it.
You paying 3 and 4 times. You delaying, every time you change your major, you delaying your time in by a year.
So what you want me? Get a degree in accounting?
Basically. No, you can change it, but this is what I'm saying. The reason why is because college is as much a family business decision as it is anything else as well, right? It's a business investment, right? So if you get to a certain point and you acquired a certain amount of credits and you decide, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. I just want to be an artist, right? So you need to go figure out how to be an artist on some apprenticeship or somewhere else and finish out this degree because
so you ain't supporting your son in his dream.
Absolutely, I'm supporting it.
He don't want to do it.
What I'm showing them how to do is to adapt to change by still pursuing your dream and handling this business that we started and taking advantage of this investment. So we're going to finish because ultimately for everybody, whether it's me or you, a degree is a tool, and it doesn't matter as much as specifically what this bachelor's is in. It matters that you have the tool to use, and then you can go specialize with a master's degree or some other training you want. But
I agree.
Continuing to turn credits in and borrow more money. That's just
so he get one transfer and one major change.
You get. I'm not gonna limit transfer because I transferred 3 times. But I got out
back to the
P's.
P's.
But I got out in 4 years. But still, transfer. You got to situate, but that can hurt you.
Yeah,
credit wise,
and that's what happened because he did that. He ended up doing that.
He just went to that. He was gonna
to ECU
during the pandemic. He didn't want to take the vaccine. Hampton was gonna make him take the vaccine, or say he couldn't come back, right? And so he was adamant he wasn't gonna take the vaccine. He applied for a waiver. They didn't approve the waiver. We going back and forth with them. Finally, he was just like, I'm just not gonna go. I'm not gonna take the vaccine to go back to school. He applied to transfer to Virginia State. He was going to lose probably 1.5 years of credits, even though he was already ahead. He was ahead because
he was willing to pay that price.
He was willing to pay the price, but ultimately he wasn't because he was like, you know what? I would rather sit out and wait the process out than lose the 1.5 years. I'll wait a semester to see if stuff changes. But ultimately, they ended up approving his waiver. I mean, that's what happened. But my point is, though, that's a lot of business consideration, man. 1.5 years of your life and $40,000, $50,000 extra you got to pay. Some of these colleges say it's $30,000 a year. And you switch your major twice. And you spend 2 extra years. That's $60,000 extra. You know?
Yeah.
So,
and at the end of the day, if you're not going to be an engineer or doctor, does it really matter what your major is going to be?
it matters. It does matter what your major is going to be.
It's easy to adjust.
I think you kind of shitting on all the other disciplines out there.
Oh no, I'm not shitting on other disciplines. I'm saying though, you can major in one thing and choose a career in something else. But if you majoring in accounting, you probably not gonna be a doctor.
There are more people that other than doctors and somebody else. There are more special value in people getting specializations. But yeah, you can be flexible and adapt if you're a good critical thinker and you can communicate, right? And count.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
So what'd you tell your boys when you dropped them off?
I think the biggest thing for me was I was comfortable with the people that I knew they were. But I felt it was some stuff that they didn't learn because they didn't grow up like I did that I wanted them to know. Like the street stuff that we know.
That slick stuff.
Yeah. And because they hadn't experienced it, to my knowledge, right?
Yeah.
And I wanted to say, yeah, it's going to be people doing coke. You know, you can see some powder. You know, usually white kids like to do a lot of coke. Don't mess with them. They do that coke. You can tell, you see people sniffing. You can tell they've been doing coke. But I mean, and this wasn't all in one day before they left, but I would say over the course of that
black
summer,
kids ain't got no money for coke.
I just start opening up. And I would say the problem is you see them white kids, they do coke. Everybody go home. When we get coke around for some reason, it's gunshots. And, you know, people gonna smoke. It's gonna be people you like to smoke. You know what I'm saying? Don't let it in your car. You got your car. You can get the charge. Like, it was stuff like that, man, and if you do stuff, I don't even know if you do it, don't tell people all your business. Hey, man, everybody got to know your business. Mm-hmm. Like, I just felt it was some man stuff about interacting with a world that I know. You know what my basic message was? Listen, man, the world is messed up.
Right.
And you about to really go in it. Yeah. It really isn't.
I'm letting you out of this bubble.
You out of this bubble. It really is, just so you know. And I know you know a lot, but I'm just letting you know it really is a messed up place. So keep your head on a swivel. Be smart. And if you get in trouble, call me or your uncles.
But the thing is, are they going to experience that much in that environment, though? You know what I mean?
It did. Everything I just named, the coke, all of that happened in the mid's first semester.
Damn.
Yeah. Went to a party, it was coke there. You know what I mean? He saw all of it literally like in a matter of weeks.
But I guess I meant with regards to the world is messed up types. You know what I mean? It seems like some of the things you mentioned with regards to preparation sounded like more like real world type preparation. So that I didn't have that kind of vibe when we were sending K-Moo off. You know what I'm saying? Again, we always looked at it and treated it as an extension of education and whatnot, and that it would be a different time closer to now that we're dealing with, trying to help him deal with real world type, because he's on the cusp of finishing college. You know what I'm saying? And about to be out somewhat on his own, or at least doing well. He took a gap year at the most ridiculous time, but anyway, so we're at the point of trying to prepare him for more real in the stuff that you all talking about when you sent them off to school. Now, in his early,
I get it, but I think like college is when they leave home. Period. Mm-hmm. It's such a great period of self-discovery on their part. Like, there's no other time you learn more about yourself probably than that period when you first leave home. Kid, what you gonna do? I don't care if you go in the military and you just out there on your own. So I think knowing and just setting, to me, it wasn't so much as I was preparing them to be like, this is how you deal with somebody that's slick. It's like, I don't want you to be shocked by what you about to see.
Right.
Because you about to see some stuff you probably haven't seen. You about to see some adults that you respect do some stuff that you probably haven't seen at a level you can't do nothing about it. I can go up to your high school and get them straight. If somebody mistreating you down here, one of these deans, you probably short. You have to figure it out.
Right.
And it's going to be somebody that's putting themselves up and it's supposed to be fair to everybody. What's your emotional state going to be? Don't be calling me talking about you coming home because of that. So I got to let you know coming in, it's some bullshit, but.
Oh, okay.
In that way.
Right.
To let you know, like, don't expect everything to be, like, perfect down this joint.
Right.
I think it's the first time when you send your kids off, it's the first time that they actually get a taste of having to take care of themselves without the financial burden that come with it. If they're blessed. Like our kids, you know what I mean? Our kids ain't got to, get jobs and all that stuff to go to college or whatever. They might want to, but
hold on.
They might want to.
Somebody chuckling over here.
What? Well, listen.
Nah,
they don't have to pay their way to go to school. They might get a job, but they don't have to pay their way to college like Rodney had. When Rodney
they not like we know how we were.
Hey, I was laughing about the tuna fish store. You know what I mean?
How
I'm ready to fight over tuna fish, because I had a loaf of bread, some little bit of tuna fish, and peanut butter and jelly. I ain't had $500 in the bank or nothing, to go buy food or whatever. So this was valuable. So now I'm thinking about my son. Got the, calf, all the calf stuff. He got money. He got his own money. You know what I mean? So he don't have.
Back up, bro.
So,
what is this tuna fish story? I don't think our audience knows, or whatever you talking about here with.
Man, when I first went to JUCO, right, and so we was playing football, so we was there earlier before anybody else. So it was just all the men, all the guys, and the dude from Pittsburgh was trying to go in the dorms and take people, food. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And I had some tuna fish. I'm like, nah, you're not getting my tuna fish.
Hold on, was he gonna take a tuna fish sandwich? Or he was gonna take your can of tuna.
My
fish?
can of tuna. Hey, dog, we was ready to go to blows over that.
He was going back up to the 5th floor?
Yeah, we was going to blows over that tuna. Because that's all I had.
Right, yeah.
And
What, he just came in your room?
He was going to Debo you?
Yeah,
he was Deboing you?
Oh,
he
nah.
was
He
trying
was like,
to.
bro, man, on the 5th floor?
Yeah,
He was trying to, yeah. And
he just came in and was gonna take your stuff.
And then after that, we might have took some other people tuna fish. That was wrong. My man Todd from Pittsburgh, but good times. But yeah, I was just saying that's in contrast to not having anything. Come on, man. I was wearing my cleats from high school and college. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if your son is in school and dude come to take his tuna fish,
what did you teach him?
How to handle that?
Was Caden equipped? Was Darius equipped? Was Amir equipped? What's gonna happen if somebody come take their food?
Right.
Yeah, was your son ready?
Thanks for sharing.
Do you feel like they was ready?
I hope he is. You know what I mean?
You didn't tell him though.
No, I told him a whole lot of stuff. I told him a whole lot of stuff
what
that
was you telling him to do in that situation?
Hey man,
what he's supposed to do is go tell the authorities.
They
want scheming and
it's no different than somebody trying to eat your cornbread, right?
Yeah.
So listen, if the dude is really hungry in a bad situation, something and it's in your heart to help him out, that's one thing. And the guy trying to bogart and carry you and muscle you.
Because if he's trying to carry you, he should be wearing that tuna fish.
Right.
The Boys to Men podcast, or B2M podcast, is about 5 guys who've been friends for over 40 years. Between the 5 of us, we've been married for over 100 combined years. Between the 5 of us, we have 13 children, 12 sons. We discuss in our podcast about our journeys into fatherhood and how we raised our sons to be fine young men. From 6-figure earners at LinkedIn to a professional Call of Duty player, college-educated entrepreneurs, that's who we are. Our podcast is not a how-to-do-it podcast. It is a podcast about how we did it. Come check us out.
Right.
That's the lesson.
Man,
Rick, did we hear your story?
Nah, not yet. Chill. Man, when I dropped my son off at school, I like to think that my wife and I, gave him a ton of tools to use and prepare him for this journey. However, it was challenging because my son lived, we live in Atlanta, and he was going to school in the heart of the city. And, that alone, I think, carries a tremendous level of faith, challenges, because the campus is not really isolated, so to speak. It's just open, you ride down the street, on Peachtree, and you might have his school
urban campus.
Yeah, exactly.
Right in the city.
Pretty much, so to speak. And I said on one of the other episodes, we drop him off, make sure he got everything he need, and the first year we wanted him to experience college life, and not do the commute thing. Even though he was close enough to the commute. And when
stay at home, you mean?
Right. Just drive back and forth. And so the first year, we wanted him to experience that. And, we get home that night and we watching TV, and it was gunfire that took place, but it wasn't directly on the college campus.
But it was close enough.
It was close enough to the college campus, and who did I see? My son on the news, talking about what took place, or because he's a journalist, so that was scary, but yet a part of what he going to school for, and of course my wife was, panicking, like, oh Lord, I made the wrong decision type, oh, maybe he gonna be, is he all right, and I'm like, well, he good, and so we called him and made sure everything was cool and what was really going on, because we wanted a clear understanding of what was going on. But however, just to try to protect, just prepare him, telling him stuff, what going on in parties and stuff, And I like to say we had it pretty easy because Tariq, he didn't even hang out on weekends and going to parties and stuff. He ended up,
Right.
coming home.
So would you say you sort of judged what you shared with him or schooled him on based on what you were seeing come out of him? You know what I'm saying? Like if you were saying that he was like, all right, he out every Friday night, then you'd have been like, hey, let me see what you got,
Well,
he talked to you about that life, but since he wasn't, you was like, you don't need me.
Well, I mean, he did go out. Don't get me wrong.
I get you.
But I'm just saying, it wasn't nothing like when I went to school.
Like you would have been.
Exactly.
Right.
Every,
out every Friday and Saturday.
Yeah, every party, everything. Yeah. On campus, off campus. I mean, because I just love the party atmosphere to see. That wasn't the issue with my son. You know what I mean? So
you just felt he showed a maturity early on that
you
weren't really worried about what the environment was doing with it.
Correct. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah. So, so it was. Hey, it's pretty easy in my case. Yeah. But although I know there's some cases that ain't.
What were you concerned about? Was it just safety?
I wasn't concerned about anything.
So you wasn't really concerned about his safety. Was you concerned about whether he would be successful academically? You ain't had none of those concerns. So when you sent him, you was good. He fine.
Me personally, now of course my wife, she felt safety was because we in the city, but however, Tariq always showed a level of maturity. He went to private school. Even when he was in regular schools, he used to do his homework. So I never had any of those issues or checking at you trying, doing slick stuff.
Did he finish out the full first year on campus?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything he did, he finished.
So what are the expectations that y'all set, man?
Hold up, real quick before we get into that. When we talk about ease and that sort of thing, I was sitting here thinking while we were sharing, and correct me if I'm wrong. Did all of our Sunday was in state, right? In state,
except for Isaiah.
No, mine was out of state.
Yeah.
Huh?
All the cores out of state.
How far though? Was it distant?
3 hours.
Yeah, so so I'm thinking, does that play a part in as far as our audience when they consider that sort of thing? If it's farther out, because that was very close. His was in state and damn near in
state in city
in town.
No, in town. Yeah,
in state in town.
And so, do you think that plays a role with regards to the ease of it as well? That they're very near, not cross country or nothing.
Absolutely,
like that,
I think because what happens is if you're not familiar with the territory and where you putting your kid in that environment, I believe the level of alert definitely is a factor, and where you dropping your child off at, what type of history might be, well known, in that particular environment, Yeah.
I mean, I agree because when Marquis was at Union, I'm from the country, so we going to the HBCU, but this was in the middle of the crack epidemic in Richmond. And at the time, Richmond was the murder capital
for sure.
of the United States. You know what I mean? And I remember one of our students got killed on Broad Street from Denver, Colorado. And so can't imagine sending your child all the way across the country like that.
Right.
He hadn't been in school 3 weeks.
Yeah, for some foolishness to happen. And so it was really rough at that time. Everywhere is rough, right? But in that particular area. And so that was a concern. When we were younger.
When we talk about whether your child is ready.
Yeah.
And we think about what those indicators, that's what it's going to look like. What indicators did you, that's one question I'm going to ask everybody.
Yeah.
What indicators or expectations did you set for your child? Not that they were ready, but like, this is what I expect to see happen when you go down here, right? And then two, we're really talking about their readiness. We're really talking about, other than their grades, you already know their grades. They qualify because they got in. You shouldn't be academically ready. Word. Unless you did all their homework.
Yeah, right.
all that, right? But you really ask yourself, are they emotionally mature enough to handle the independence of navigating this new world they're about to be in? without me being there.
I think a lot of that too comes down to like birth order, so to speak. Well, first of all your children got different personalities, right? So a lot of times you pour it all into the first one.
Mine got the same. No, I was kidding.
But by the time you get to that youngest one, you like, shh. You know, and so you tired, you have more wisdom but less energy. When you're young, you got all the energy without the wisdom, right? And so now you get a little older and wiser, but not the same energy. So I'm sure all of us loosen up when it comes to that last one, right? However, hopefully that his brothers are doing well and succeeding, so they have an example outside of me and his mother. When his siblings are doing well and being successful, whether college, military,
and it becomes a standard.
But that's right, I want to get y'all back on this emotional
readiness
because I can see that I got family members doing it good. He's a good example. But the bottom line is, am I emotionally immature when my feelings get hurt, when I meet disappointment, when I meet frustration, when I feel isolated and don't nobody like me yet? When I miss my friends, when I miss my girlfriend, what do I have? Do I have the fortitude to deal with that feeling, that pain, and just keep it moving through my daily schedule because I know what I'm doing?
I think that's established early on. You have to prepare them.
But that's what people back home, though. We can say that. But that's exactly
you got
why
some great points.
In Malcolm Gladwell's book, he talks about how they track the group of kids. You know, typically generally same IQ, same socioeconomic background, all this stuff. And they looking at why some graduated and some didn't. They tracked them from like elementary school all the way through. And what they discovered were the kids that were able to graduate actually had nothing to do with intelligence. It had everything to do with their emotional stability and could they handle circumstances. For example, I got to work a job, but I got to take this exam. And am I able to go to my professor and to get him to let me take my exam on Thursday instead of Tuesday so I can work and graduate?
Or did I grow up in a house when we were faced with stuff like that, my people said, F it.
Right. Dog, let me tell you.
Do you understand what I'm saying? They just quit.
Bro, right now, I got a little cousin. I just found this out last night, so I got to call and get all in their business because she was supposed to be going to Morgan State, and she at home working at UVA hospital. Why? Because they ain't had no housing for her.
Oh, yeah.
She called up there, and we ain't got no housing, so she just came back home.
Yeah.
But that's not the issue. The issue is, how hard did you go at solving this problem?
Right.
Did you just let that be an obstacle and you just accept that? Or are you like, nah, I'm going to call these people every day.
Because they send them to off-campus housing. They got,
I'm going to worry the heck out of them until they find me a place to live.
And Morgan never has housing every year.
Right.
Our HBCUs got to do better with that because they got the students showing up. You knew you didn't have housing last week. But
so the difference is why some kids got housing and you don't. Why you the one that ain't got no housing?
Because you ain't pushing.
Right? So like, how do you solve that problem and overcome that obstacle so that you're able to get housing?
And is that all they told you?
Right.
You don't have housing now, but this is what you need to do. Or you can go off campus. Well, I don't want to live off campus. 99% of the freshmen over there is okay. Like you gotta, like you said, you gotta go find out.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't just accept the obstacle.
Yeah.
And so, like, are you really prepared? So in that situation, you're like, man, like, no, she can't miss out on this opportunity. We gotta solve this.
Right.
You know what I mean? We gotta figure out a way to solve this.
So what I hear you saying is identify obstacles before they come along. As many as you can, whether financial, with the housing, the opposite sex, jerks, professors that don't like you, jerks in your dorm or whatever. Identify all of these things. Exactly. And how you what you gonna do if you run into this situation? How you gonna handle the situation?
Yeah.
Man, when I was a principal, man, we used to get students, and I was a principal of an alternative school, and half of the students were court ordered to be there. The other half had been expelled from a DC public school, right? So these are students that are on the rebound, right? And many of them would get their lives together, great with the grace of God, man, and go to college, right? But they would be coming from some very seriously traumatic background and experiences where I knew how to calm them down when something happened that didn't go their way. I knew how to say, look, hey, remember what we talked about? What we've been talking about?
Right.
Look at you right now. What you doing? I'm going off. I'm going off. Where's she going to school? I'll talk to the counselor. Where's she going to school? She going to Penn State, Altoona. Who else wanted her? Oh, she could have went to Virginia State. She could have went to North. I said, why she ain't go to Virginia State? She don't want her. They don't want her mom and them don't want her to go to no HBCU. They said it's ratchet. Right? They don't know. They didn't go to school, and I'm not hating on them.
Right.
But my point is, what I knew is when she go to Penn State, Altoona,
she be back
and
home.
get disappointed, it ain't gonna be nobody there that's saying, hey, what's going on? What's your strategy? What we've been talking about? And I know at Virginia State, it's gonna be somebody that look at her and give her a chance to calm down and try to talk to her with some love. So my point is, her emotional stability, just based on where she grew up and where she from, it's okay to make it through college, but it ain't okay to make it through there. You're not ready yet.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
real.
Then that's the whole thing. You got to know what your child is ready to endure. Otherwise, they in there dealing with these mental challenges on their own. Then you find out they got a drug problem. Then you find out they depressed. Then you find out they want to kill themselves or don't want to talk to nobody. And you're not tapped into it because you don't know them well enough.
It might be
to have known where they might be weak in dealing with some of that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Or have you or you might have known, but you avoid because it's a tough conversation.
Yeah.
Or you don't want to have to deal with the drama that comes with it and the frustration and the only reason you we beefing one another
because you were ill-equipped or not feeling that you were equipped to handle that. So that's the beauty of our brotherhood, because we could always come to one another and share this and get and bounce it off of one another. You know what I mean?
And so, everybody got that.
All right, exactly. They don't.
I got
So now they have the B2M Crew.
Yeah.
I got a situation. I don't know. I mean, y'all can fuss at me if it's off topic, but
we will.
But it's a situation where I believe that is a grandparent out there, right? And I'm talking about a situation that I know of. I believe the grandparent wanted the child not to go to college because, in a sense, you all that I got.
Oh.
I want to, it's several other siblings in the house, but they not interested in going off to school. But you all I got, and fearful for them to go to college, and they try to hold them back.
How's that all the grandparent have if their siblings involved?
No. What I'm saying to you is, you the person that I can depend on in the family.
Oh, okay.
I don't want you to leave me.
Yeah,
that's
you get me my water. You go to the store, get my medicine.
That's selfish.
Yeah, you make.
No, I'm just saying this is real situations that you put fear in them, right? So they won't go to school. And the real deal is, the real deal is you.
Because you've been planting those seeds because you don't want to be without them. And then you hoping eventually, and maybe even subconsciously, as a parent or grandparent, you really don't even want them to go.
There's some real stuff that happened in our community.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's real.
You know?
Oh, yeah. You turn your back on the family if you go to school.
Yeah, yeah.
Or on me.
Because you don't understand.
You getting uppity.
And you breaking the generational cycle. Because you the only one that graduated from high school and on their way to college, but you making it a big deal. And you putting fear in them because you don't. The real deal is you want them to babysit you.
Well, the message is in that regard, fam, don't do that. Stop. Don't even start that.
But a lot of people feel they have a responsibility to grandma.
or mama, or whatever.
And the reason I say that so hard, because actually, that was my cop out for not finishing.
That's how you lied to yourself?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
Well, it was, all right, my situation was, moms had just had the twins, Kenny and Cody, and I was like, oh, yo, I can only do the semester. I can't come back because I got to go help moms out with these, you know what I'm saying?
Won't no damn help.
I got to go help moms out because, at the time, again, she was a single mom. And there's no way she could have did it without any help. So, yeah, that was my cop out.
In your mind.
Yeah, I copped out, too. How did you Tracy got pregnant. I'm like, I got a son coming.
Right.
Let me go and take care of my son. I can't come back. There was no reason why I couldn't go back. You know what I mean? I just made that up, And I wish somebody had pulled me and said, nah, young fella. Like, yeah, you're going to help your family by finishing this. You know what I mean? I know, like you so short-sighted. You got 24 months left. Go ahead, get through these 24 months. That's how you help your family.
Right.
Not working at the hotel. You know what I mean?
Right.
But that's how we cop out. We lie to ourselves
we
about
make
stuff
this
like
stuff
this.
up in our head.
Yeah.
And don't have that circle.
And don't start the I'm going back in January talk.
Oh man,
how many
I don't have
times everybody do that? So like, it's got to be people around you to have some real conversations with you when you going through that emotional stuff you talking about. To say, hey, let's get refocused here. Let's remember what the objectives are here. Let's think long term.
I think that's real challenging for you to do that while you in that situation. But that's where a man comes in. It's like, all right,
woman, yeah.
You made it tougher on yourself. However, it's still doable. So now this is what we got to do. We got to cut out this little bit of foolishness and focus on this, and we can still make this happen.
And be there as a support system if you're going to offer that. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to offer that advice.
And that's why, John, you were I was asking you how the drop off went with Gabriel, back to this whole issue of what do we tell our children when leaving home? And you were saying that Andre came up, and my response was, "Oh wow, so he got community then."
Yeah. And,
you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So he got mom and dad there. My brother there. He lived 2 hours away. He went here. Like, there's a support system in place for me to be successful, and so that's what we're talking about. With you didn't have a support system. Why? There was nobody that said to you, Joaquin, no. She's just gonna have to deal with that $26 a week.
Right.
That they make you pay. Now you don't worry about that baby. You're gonna be good. Like, that's the community. That's the support system. That's the information we need, because we operating off the only thing we know.
Right.
We don't know much about surviving these things.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm gonna put another plug in for when we can to go to HBCUs, because there's some people there that's gonna love your children through some things that some people might not love them through at a PWI sometimes.
Facts.
When they're dealing with some of these peculiar things, my grandma type situation. People don't understand you talking about my grandma ain't got nobody to go to CVS for.
Their grandma done paid for their education. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's real. That's some real
and everything.
So.
And that's one of the things too, on another level I shared with Gabriel about creating your community. And there was a study, I forget where it was black students, white students, Asian students. And the professor was like, I know these black students are just as smart as these Asian students, but they're not.
It was at Stanford.
It was Stanford. And they weren't getting the same grades. But they realized that after class, all the Asian students were getting together and studying, but the black students were studying individually, right? Studying just as hard, putting as much time, as effort, and energy into it, but doing it individually instead of collectively. And I was telling him, you're gonna find your new community down there, right? Find somebody that's good at math. If you're good at science, you can help them out. If you're good at English, you know what I mean? Find your community, your peers, and create your team, you know what I mean? That's gonna help you succeed. It ain't, you got your party friend, you got this and that, but find your crew and make it happen. Make sure your goal is to get out of there, do what you got to do. You can help some folks and surround yourself with some folks that can help you.
Yeah, have a good accountability partner as well.
Yeah.
So
no man is an island to himself.
On another note, when John was dropping Gabriel off, I called. I was on the phone with John. I said, Gabriel right there. He's like, yeah. I said, before you get out the car, y'all was in the dorm, wasn't y'all?
Yeah,
y'all was somewhere.
Yeah.
I was like, put him on the phone. I want to talk to him. I'm gonna give him my 5 rules that I gave my sons, and y'all done heard me talk about it. But I feel like it warrants repeating. You know, because I'm a real simple guy. You know, I said, Gabriel, all right, give you the same 5 rules I gave my sons. Here are the rules. Rule number 1, seems obvious. Don't get yourself killed. That seems like an obvious thing, but that speaks to riding with drunk drivers.
Yeah.
Taking that Molly or fentanyl or
that covers all of it.
Getting high. That covers, like I told him, you at the party and 200 of y'all standing on the balcony with red cups drinking, and the damn balcony collapses and you die on the balcony, like dumb shit. Yeah. You know, like like you really need to be hyper aware, not hyper aware, just be aware of your mortality as you go into environments.
Come on now.
You know what I mean? So be aware of this. Rule number 2, don't you kill nobody. All right? Don't you be George Hughley, UVA lacrosse player, arguing with his girlfriend, push her down on the bed, she fall back, hit her head and die, and now he's serving time in prison. You know what I mean? These things can happen. Don't you be the person that's driving drunk and kill your buddies. You know, that's real stuff.
Real stuff.
Rule number 3, don't rape nobody. Now, that seems obvious. You wouldn't have to say that. But we know, especially being college athletes, that you can find yourself in some very precarious situations with young ladies who maybe drank too much, and now somebody want to have sex with them. Young dudes, you know, getting together and doing whatever because she not conscious or whatever. If you're not strong enough to step in and put a stop to that, you need to remove yourself from that environment, because when the rape charges come, you was in the room, all right? Like, that's a real thing. Those are real live situations. That go for young, if we sending young girls to college. Young ladies find themselves in those situations where they getting videotaped and recorded and they don't know what's going on, stuff like that. You got to prepare them for this kind of stuff. Don't you participate in that kind of stuff in any way. Let me tell you, I'm not flying blind here. I know this stuff happens. That's why we talking about it right now. So you need to be prepared for this. Rule number 4, don't get nobody pregnant. Don't do what I did. All right? You know what I mean? Now, some of these things, if they happen, we can recover from. You know what I mean? It's not as bad as you would think. But the point is, you putting one huge hurdle in front of you that don't need to be there. And then rule number 5, don't get arrested. That's an arbitrary rule. But my son Kari would always say, I don't know about that one. I don't know about that one. You know,
I absolutely love the rules, but I just need one more at it.
But the point in my rules was just the stuff that keep me and your mama up at night. So that's what I told Gabriel when he got on the phone. Is rule number 6?
Yeah.
What's rule number 6?
Go there and get what you went there to get. Go to fucking class.
Show up. Be on
Seems
time.
obvious.
He's doing everything. That joker Joaquin talking about could be doing great in all them other areas. You ain't going to no class. You know?
I love it.
That's to be understood. Yeah. But no, I love that because it's so practical and about everyday life, man, and it's real. I love that.
And after I said that to him, I was like, now go have all the fun you want.
Yeah.
Go have all the fun you want.
Now you gotta tell him.
But this is the stuff that keep John and your mama up at night. This the stuff they worry about. This what they worried about. All that other stuff,
You got it, folks. The B2M Crew. 5 essential tips for a child leaving home by Coach Joaquin. We're going to get him to repeat them one more time for you.
Hey, rule number 1, don't get yourself killed. Rule number 2, don't you kill nobody. Rule number 3, don't rape nobody. Rule number 4, don't get nobody pregnant. And rule number 5, don't get arrested. And rule number 6, go have all the fun you want.
No, go to class.
Oh, go to class.
Yeah.
Go to class. Have all the fun you want. It's the B2M Crew at the Code Building in Charlottesville talking to you about advice as we sent Gabriel, the youngest son out of the 12, off to college.
I got
Gabriel.
Proud of you,
Looking
Gabriel.
forward to much success. Joaquin, you got something to take us out with?
In the words of the great Frederick Douglass, it is easier to raise strong children than to repair broken men. Peace.
Peace.
And I won't stop until I'm winning. I'ma show them how true and independent get it. Whole game changed by the time I'm finished with it. We about to get this business handled in a minute. And I won't stop until I'm winning. They don't want me in the office cause I